YouTube just literally blanked out my whole entire live stream. I have no idea why they do this to me. Like, I'm not even exposing the government. It's some creepy stuff. I don't know why they do that to me. Like, I'm literally talking about my goddess solar return trip, but you know, whatever. Maybe that person was on there and maybe they did something, reported. I don't know. But anyway, let me try to see how I can start off from what I was saying. So anyway, I don't do stuff with ill intent or anything. You know, I just move how I'm led to, and I wanted to be led in the right direction when it came to addressing this particular goddess bad talking me or down talking me or trying to demean my character. Yeah, I'm trying to start, Shama, I'm trying to start from where I left off. I'm like, okay, where did I leave off? But anyway, I just don't, like, my whole intent was like not to be able to come in a malicious way, if that makes sense, right? So I needed to like seek counsel, and I meditated on it, and I was just like, okay, I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to play one of her lives and I'm going to commentate. And that's what I did, like kind of how I do on her. I played one of her videos or whatever that she was putting up, because it wasn't a live stream. It was like a video that she was doing. It was like recorded videos she was doing, right? In her car in the dark. It was the weirdest crap ever, right? And she was talking so slow and monotone, like, so she calls herself a goddess, Miss Drea. And like, girl, like, you don't call yourself a goddess. Like, we all wouldn't call each other goddess. Like, I'm confused right now. It was like literally like an agent in the mix of everything. So anyway, she starts talking, and I literally stop and I'm like commentating in between the whole situation. So I addressed the situation, but as I told everybody, I'm not going to continuously address this situation because I don't have to defend myself in any manner when it comes to that. There was 6 other goddesses outside of myself that were there, and they know the truth. And I expected them, I'm not gonna lie, I expected them to defend me. I expected them to tell the truth. I expected them to stand up for the truth, because they were on that trip too, and that was demeaning their character too, and all of the greatness that happened on that trip. All of the beautifulness of that trip was basically trying to be single-handedly stripped, all based off of one envious, jealous. I mean, that's all I can come up with. Because what else is your issue? You know, what is your issue? So I literally, confronted it at that moment. But that was like the last straw for me when it came to considering being part of a spiritual community. That was just it. I couldn't take no more. I was like, listen. And I made it very clear, not only that night when I addressed it, but from this point on, I'm not part of no spiritual community. It's really embarrassing because it's like you get grouped in with everybody else, and it's some people out here acting a fool that consider themselves spiritual and in a spiritual community. Like right now, it's okay to be on like OnlyFans and stuff, like licking box and screwing, and it's okay to be in clubs like throwing back bottles and popping your ass on people and all this stuff like that, and licking your tongue out and all this stuff. That's okay. Like, that totally contradicts everything that people say they're trying to do as far as getting to a higher consciousness, to me. Because to me, it's like you're staying in that 3D realm. As far as I'm concerned, that's stuff we did in 3D realm, and that you do in 3D realm. And I'm not trying to still be where I was. You know, I'm elevating, I'm growing. And so for me, I'm just not a part of none of that stuff. That's why I say survive in the spiritual community, because I have been done worse than I ever have been done in a church, in the spiritual community. And it seemed like everybody that, yeah, they all cap, I promise you, because it seemed like everybody that was in this spiritual community was like, oh my God, like they would gas you up like some narcissists, for real. Gas you up, love bomb you, all this shit. And then next thing you know, You turn around and they literally dog your ass. They want to get in your vicinity, in your presence, just to see how you are and who you are, and how you are, how you are. And they're never going to get that because you're special in your own way. So it's like they may see something in you that they really, really admire and like, and they admire the fact that I'm open and bold enough to speak live and things like that. You know what I'm saying? And to be used as a vessel to bring information. And a lot of them was like, I just don't have that courage. I just don't have this and I don't have that. And all I did was pour confidence in these people to the point every single one of them, once I cut them off, they end up doing live streams and stuff like that. It really was, I was doing what they really wish they had the guts to do. But being in my presence, I was able to empower them to do that. Even though they dogged me out in the process, I still helped them. And so I wish them well, at the end of the day. But I'm not part of no spiritual community, even sitting up there looking at the Storm Monroe video and shit like that. And I'm like, damn, he got young Pharaoh on here too. And then they said about the, video that he was doing or whatever, and how he eating box and all this stuff on the video. I said, this is sad. And then when he made the comment like, yeah, the spiritual community, they all fake, they fraud, they this, they that. I said, that's why I'm so happy that I let it be known. I'm not part of no spiritual community. I am a spiritual being that came back here on this planet to be able to help raise the frequency and vibration of all kind on this planet so that we can be able to raise the consciousness on this planet. Okay? Right the wrongs of our ancestors. The torches were passed to us for us to be able to do something different on this planet. Yeah, Keith said I pulled the veil back on them and they didn't like it. I guess so. Like when I tell you it hurt me though. I'm gonna be real raw with y'all. This ain't the same thing as the RJ situation. Like I met RJ through the spiritual community. You know what I'm saying? So this ain't the same thing as that. This is like literally people and beings that like I literally have opened up my home to, like literally invited them to come celebrate my solar return with me. I didn't have to do that. It's something that I wanted to do because I wanted us to be able to be an example to other women, and it to be able to be something that's talked about like, dang, they did this, let's do this. Start a trend, a positive trend. That's what I wanted to do. And it hurt me because it was like the intentions behind it was all in love and purity, and you know what I mean? And it had to be this one being that came in to try to tear down and destroy every fucking thing that was based behind it. And it's just like, and they knew this. It's like, how could you do that? So it hurt me a little bit, but I had to come to the realization that at the end of the day, everybody is not here to push the same narrative. We have beings here that are here to keep the frequency at a low frequency, a low vibration, keep beings on their lower, on the lower realm, the 3D realm. So like I had to like take that into consideration. It just threw me on how she was able to be like an infiltrator and an agent in our vicinity and in our presence. And I just was so upset with myself because I'm like, damn, why didn't my discernment pick up on this? Why? But I guess it did, because when I told y'all when she came to my crib how she was acting. So I guess that was there, and that was a sign that I was supposed to like adhere to, but I hadn't. And then it was another sign because while I was on the solar return trip, in the beginning when we first got there, she was all cool, all in my video. You'll see it, she in there and stuff like that. And then she's in all my pictures. But what happened was she had ended up being distanced towards the middle and the end, right? When I end up uploading the pictures after the solar return trip, every single one of my like Facebook friends and people that follow me on Facebook and stuff like that, they literally were underneath the comments like, you can see her face, look at her face. Like in every single one of the pictures, y'all, you could see that she did not like me, or she really has some type of envy, jealousy, something, because you could see it all in her face in the pictures. Like I'm beaming, cheesing, smiling, tell them having a great time. I'm just no care in the world, just everything is great. And then you see her over here like, in the picture, like, a picture captures and says 1,000 words. And when I look back on those pictures, I was like, wow, I literally had a demon seed in the mix of you know what I mean, of people that I was thinking were of a godly consciousness, a higher consciousness and spirituality and things like that. And it was what it was, and it was something that I was supposed to learn from it. And we had plans to be able to do another trip where we were going to do a God and Goddess retreat, and it just really discouraged me from doing it. I was just like, I don't even want to do it. And everybody's like, no, Goddess, don't do that, don't get to a place where you don't want to. I'm like, I don't even feel safe around people for real if that's what they're going to do. You know what I'm saying? If they only want to come to something just to see who I am or how I do what I do so they could try to, you know what I'm saying, demean my character or something like that. Like, it was just weird. But anyway, I survived. I'm no longer a part of the spiritual community. I'm thankful for that. Like, because to me, it's a lot of cultism going on in the spiritual community. Like, as we see, it's a lot of cults, a lot of people that's just following people. They don't have their own mind. The whole thing about being spiritually free and of a higher consciousness, a higher vibration, raising your vibrations and your consciousness is to be a free thought. Be in control of the God in you. You know what I'm saying? Not to sit up here and look for a follower. You know what I'm saying? Oh, because Rashad said this, or because YP said this, or because what's his name? Spiritual Soul said that. Like, I ain't never been one of them people that sit up there and just hang on the words of a whole nother being that's on this planet having to do the same shit I'm having to do. You know what I'm saying? Having to go through not the same shit, but have a journey of their own that they have to go through. None of us are perfect. All of us are on this on this planet, this physical plane, this physical planet, in these avatars. And there's things that we have to do, and there's works we have to do. There's a journey that we're on, a journey you're on, a journey he on, a journey he on. Like, you can't hang on the. You see, every time you will be disappointed. You will be disappointed every time. You know how many people have like literally fell from the higher consciousness that they were in because they were holding on to their spirituality was through holding on to YP's words and what he had to say and how he was moving. You know what I'm saying? What's the other one? The one that they were saying, Polite, Pedolite. Same thing with him. You know, everybody, like, you fall from what you would consider grace because you're holding on, and your whole point of spirituality or higher vibrations, frequency, consciousness is all based on you holding on to somebody else and their journey and how they do what they do. Everything you need to know about what you need to be doing on this planet to bring the frequency and the consciousness of the people up is all within you. It's all deep-seated within you. It's already been downloaded in you. You just have to wake up and remember. And how you do that is to intercede with self. That's how you tap in, by grounding, meditation, asking, please guide me to what it is I'm supposed to be doing on this planet. Meditate on that. Seek counsel on that through your ancestors, your spirit guides. You have beings, spiritual beings that can help you throughout the process. Don't quit hanging on these beings that's in the same, they're in avatars just like you on this planet to do something. You can't hang on somebody else's shit. You got to do what you got to do. That's why when I move, how I move, people like, how you going to be able to move? And why you exposing this person? Why you doing? Because the ancestors told me to. Because I was guided to do so for whatever reason. And now look at where we are. Look at what YP doing. Oh, I don't know if y'all saw what happened with a guy, well, somebody up in Atlanta or whatever, that basically said, oh, because, well, his dad said because he followed RJ, that's how he ended up getting in some trouble. You know, this is what I'm saying. I always tell people on my Facebook pages and stuff that follow me, and I got a few of them, I got 3 of them, and I got a lot of followers. I always tell them, listen, don't do what I do, or don't go off of what I say. Do your own research. Ask your own ancestors and your own spirit guides to guide you. Seek counsel. That's what I say. At the end of the day, don't do what I do or as I say. Do as you need to do. Seek within. Go within. So, yeah, people gonna be wrong. People gonna fall into that trap every time. I really feel, and I saw it coming with the whole YP situation. I saw that shit coming. I'm like, damn, all these people were still holding on. He's sitting up here putting his hands on gold and it's proof he doing this, he doing that. And people still sitting, oh, like he's their savior and he could do no wrong. Now it's funny because I be like looking underneath the comments like, what y'all gotta say now? Because if you was tapped in, and if you was using your discernment and your intuition, you would have seen this shit coming from a mile away. You would have seen the differences, the changes, and seen how, okay, this is not right, and this is going in a direction that don't got nothing to do with what we supposed to be doing here on this planet. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I was trying to explain to people, and that's all the ancestors was literally putting me in place to speak about, to try to show people. And that's a big reason why I had to remove myself out of that spiritual community, which to me is a lot of cultism going on. That's why we got all this stuff. Oh, you got to be polygamous. You got to do this. You have to, like, all these people following these different things that all these spiritual speakers are saying because they're too busy needing a savior. They still looking outside of themselves for a savior, and nobody is going to save you but you. Only you can save you. Nobody else. So anyway, y'all, I just definitely wanted to share that experience. I wanted to share that story because I'm just like, man, like I'm just watching the stuff unfold. The whole time I haven't been on YouTube and stuff like that, I still been kind of like keeping track of everything, seeing what's going on and everything. I'm like, all these people that dog Golden, talk bad about her. She removed herself. She completely, it was phases she had to go through. It's healing processes you got to go through. You with somebody for 5 damn years, then all of a sudden, like, they just turn into a whole nother person. Money changed them, whatever the case may be. And you like, nah, that's not really them. You like literally start psychologically going through your head like, nah, this ain't my man, or this ain't, you know, he gonna get it together, da da da. You go through those phases, but as you see, she's completely removed herself and she's literally in a grounded state. You can see the glow on her. She's doing awesome because she removed herself from the toxicity. And that's the whole point of the matter. And everybody dogged that woman out. And at the end of the day, as you can see, she had to be his grounding in some point, because if he wasn't where he is now. He's like a train wreck. He's like a complete train wreck now, you know, since she's been completely removed out the situation. He wanted her removed. She moved herself. And now look at where he is, you know. So at the end of the day, you know, when it's all said and done, just follow what you supposed to be doing. Go within, tap within self. You know what I'm saying? Like, really intercede with yourself and see what your journey is and what you're supposed to be doing on this planet. Quit following these people. Quit waiting for a savior. It's like waiting for Jesus to come out the sky. It's never going to happen, people. It's never going to happen. If it was going to happen, first off, the letter J didn't even exist 2,000 years ago. And you can name him whatever else you want to name him. But the fact of the matter is that he was created in the Council of Nicaea. So, like, when it's all said and done, a council of your oppressors came up with this Jesus figure to basically tell you all, to scare you from coming into your higher Christ-like consciousness, which is within you. Here, crowned, third eye. So anyway, I ain't come here to fuss, but it's just the truth of the matter. And if people did that more, then they wouldn't be disappointed when they see their Christ-like figure, because that's all they do. They take on these people and they start worshiping them. And that's what we have. When you have a person that has a following in a large mass like this and like that, it's because they literally are holding on to that person to give them the knowledge and the tools that they need, instead of going to seek for taking pieces of what people tell you. And that's fine. Listen to them. But go into your own research. Go and ask for answers yourself. You'll be led. You'll be guided to all the things that you need to know. Like, literally. So I don't know what to say, y'all. I just really don't. I ain't part of no spiritual community. I know that. She said, the goddess TV said, she fell back as well. She said that she gonna live in balance and mind her motherfucking business. I know that's right. Listen, I don't got time to be minding nobody else's business. I got my own journey. I got my own things that the ancestors be lining up for me to do. And it's things that I have to work on myself. Shadow work is a continuous work. Shadow work is something that you're going to continuously do as long as you on this planet. You know what I mean? And until all of us, until at least 50 to 60% of us raise in consciousness, you know what I'm saying, and in frequency and consciousness, higher consciousness, we're still going to be having to deal with these low vibrational beings being around. But we don't have to deal with low vibrational beings. We just see these motherfuckers in the distance. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the ones that are sitting up here getting jabbed and all that other stuff. You just look at them in a distance and you be like, yeah, that's some wild stuff. How do they not see this? But it ain't nothing you can do. As long as you stay grounded and you stay tapped into what you supposed to be doing, that's minding your business and that's doing what you supposed to do on this planet. You ain't got to worry about nothing else. That's it and that's all. So that's the best advice I can give to people, honestly. I still want to go on, come on this live stream. I still want to do one on narcissists, because my experience that I had recently is just wild. And I had never experienced being with anyone or being in any situation with someone that was a narcissist. And I really feel like a lot of people deal with people or beings like that, and they just don't even know. Like, people could lose themselves if they don't know what to look for. They can really be second guessing themselves, like it's them and this and that. And so I really want to be able to go in depth on that, but I'm gonna do a whole nother live stream on that, because that's gonna be like a 2-hour live stream. And they already cut me off on the last live stream, which is why I had to do this one. I don't know why I'm being cut, because I ain't even been on here in a while. And that's another thing. They've been censoring and blocking my stuff on everything. So I don't know. It's like they watch me or some shit. I don't know what to say about that, because it's like, dang, I ain't even been on here. All of a sudden, I'm getting cut off. All of a sudden, I'm having to restart a live stream. Like, this is the stuff that be happening on Facebook. Like, the fuck? She said, Goddess TV said, I've been feeling the same way. Some of them add religious takes to spirituality, like they won't make it depending on how they feel. Right, exactly. You know what? At the end of the day, when it's all said and done, we in these avatars, and we in this physical existence on this physical plane, and it's a constant journey. It's a constant journey. When I just went through the situation I went through, I kind of went through a depressive state, and I had not been in that state in a very, very long time. One thing about me is I like to be authentic, because I want people to know, like, you're not by yourself. Like, sometimes people can put up this image like they just don't go through nothing, especially when they become these spiritual speakers, and and stuff, and then they get into these positions and stuff like that, and then they like act like they holier than thou, and they've never been through anything. Peace, Regina. Peace, Goddess. Act like they never been through anything. And it's like, yeah, you have, and yeah, you still do go through things, because as long as you're on this physical existence, and as long as you're around other beings, or you have to work in the work field, or you have to, you know what I'm saying? Some people have spouses that haven't come into their consciousness and awakening stage yet, and things like that. You're going to deal with things like that. We got family members going out here getting jabbed and stuff. You're going to feel some type of way. And people like to put it like you're not going to ever go through anything, because you've reached your spiritual consciousness and it's just euphoric from this point on. And that's a lie. Like, that's a lie, y'all. The whole thing about spirituality and raising in consciousness is to know the tools to be able to pull yourself out of that stuff, so you don't stay there. You know what I mean? But it don't mean it ain't gonna happen. You're not gonna end up falling there, but it's to not stay there. It's to utilize those tools. Okay, I know why this is, because I need to go grounding. Okay, I know why this is. I ain't meditated in a couple weeks. You know, something like that. You're going to be like, I know how to get back on balance. You got to rebalance yourself. You're not always going to be balanced. The fuck? Like, they don't want me to talk because I keeps it real, okay? That's one thing I hate about church too. They be acting like they're just holier than thou, knowing damn well. Yeah, another form of fear mongering. God is you show right. Like they just knowing damn well, like, seriously, you know you was out. Okay, prime example. I'm not gonna out nobody. Semen retention. It's some guys that's been speaking about semen retention on social media, and oh, let's do the semen retention, guys. This is what you're gonna do. It's gonna bring you to a higher vibration, and da 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 da, and your power is within there, and da da da, which is true. Don't get me wrong. Well, I don't know. I haven't experienced it, but the guys I have talked to that have done the semen retention and stuff like that, and they went on the fast from sex, and I know I've been on fast from food and things like that, and was only on water fast and stuff like that, and I was in a higher frequency and spirituality. Like I was able to tap into some realms that I had never been before and get messages that I had never been able to get before. It was like more clarity. So I know that to be true, but it's some on here be telling y'all all this stuff and they don't even practice what they preach. It's just like the preachers out here. Oh, you're sinning if you do this, you do that. Come to find out, these pastors sitting up here laying up with all kind of married men. I mean, married women. Oh, some men too. Married women, some married men. You know what